Scorpio represents that magical flowery portal. And Aries, the genitals that carries the bloodline, the soul contracts, the energy that we receive, the inheritance, which is not just about money, which we love to believe it's always about money. It's about the ancestral gifts. It's about the magical power. It's about your prowess for visions, dreamwalking, elemental magic, and so much more. And I want to actually teach you all this through the eighth house. One of the most shamanic houses in astrology is the eighth house. And if you're interested in it, I have a 3-day shamanic alchemy webinar that I want to go ahead and just give out for free. Like, I'm like, you know what? Let's do this for 3 days in a row. Have it up on screen. Make sure you go and you check that link out and join us for the dates that are listed. As we dig deeper into your ancestral gifts and your inheritance for each of the 12 zodiac signs, you will have timestamps. You check for your sun, your moon, your rising. And with this, there are other planets. I would say Mars, Pluto, and Jupiter, especially the moon, can be placements that you check for. What house is that particular planet in and what zodiac? And I would check for the house and I would check for the wherever Scorpio may sit, considering it's linked to the 8th house. So let's dig into this alchemical process for each of the 12 zodiac signs. I'm going to give you the ghost and the burdens that these ghost energies carry within your bloodline. I'm going to give you your shamanic blessing and how you are here to transmute certain pains that you may have experienced ancestrally speaking that can be delivered as medicine, delivered as your ancestral gifts, your magical power, and your ultimate unexplainables. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up and likes button. This is your Ayurveda Shaman Pernell Bobby, asking you to subscribe if you are brand new. And again, let's get into all 12 of your zodiac signs. Now, because I want to focus on being practical and applying magic in a grounded way, I'm going to give you a power ritual and an affirmation that I want you to pin up somewhere and actually try this out. Okay, especially if you plan on coming to the 3-day webinar. Come to this webinar understanding that we're going to do things. You're not here to just learn. I don't want to just teach something. I want to teach something. I don't want to bring it into the physical world. And our 8th house is something that is non-physical. So with that said, understand that if dreamwalking is something of interest to you, if shamanic prayer is something you want to learn deeper about, if you want to focus on how to transmit your shadow energies, turning them into gifts, this is going to be the webinar for you. As we now get into the reminder to do the ritual and do the affirmations for each of these zodiac signs to make this stuff applicable for your 8th house in astrology, wherever that sits. All right, number 1, let's get into Aries. Aries, your shamanic gift is pyrokinesis at will. Pyrokinesis is the ability to generate fire, literally to create. And it can also destroy, of course. So sometimes in order to create, your shamanic blessing is to destroy. But your burden, the ghost that you carry from your ancestral line, is that of destruction, right? Sometimes wildfires can become this unconscious anger that you don't fully understand. It could be there in a blip of an eye and you just decide to burn bridges and you potentially scorch relationships, being the other side of Libra, and you leave behind this trail of bodies where your passion may have came out too volatile to maintain. So in order to transform this into a literal power, you have to focus on your ability that you can spark a movement. You can lead an individual revolution that inspires others through this pyrokinesis at will. Your desires, you have to transform them from the place of lust where you crave power and instead remember that you truly want union. You want people to join in on your inspirations and manifest at that share willpower of I want this, I go for it, I inspire others. And this will be the ignition for other people in the soul flame. So that shadow element of Libra for you, Aries, is really where Aries 8th house energy is going to be most potent. So now we have your ritual, your power ritual, and your affirmation. So your power ritual is, I have it off to the side. I want you to light a red candle and whisper a secret desire into the flame. Okay, this desire is back to that lust that you may have. So consider, what do I lust for? And not just about physical sex, but what do I lust for energetically, because I want to become more powerful as I merge, which the 8th house in Aries is about. Aries 8th house is about merging in a powerful way. And put that desire into the flame itself. Now visualize it sparking into your manifestation, Aries. That's that. Now your affirmation is, I wield passion as a sacred flame. Okay, lighting the path without burning the bridge, because again, 8th house wants to bridge things. And so if that was interesting for you, Aries in the 8th house, I want you to go check the link and sign up now for the 3-day Shamanic Alchemy class, where you will learn to master that elemental power of your fire. All right, Aries, thank you for hitting the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe. Taurus, your shamanic blessing, Taurus in the 8th house, is literally earth shaping. And what's beautiful about earth shaping is it has the ability to become tremendously prosperous, not just financially, but prosperous in the realms of being abundant in your sensuality, being abundant with your sexual energy and how you use it to manifest and mold, literally shaping, construct the earth. But this is something where, from your ancestral bloodline and DNA, this existence of embodying these deep memories of the earth itself, which is very, very millions and millions of years old, it can ground that wealth, it can ground your beauty, and it can literally give you physical vitality to merge and become more powerful. This is a part of your inheritance. And what we need to understand, Taurus in the 8th house, is your burden, the ghost of your bloodline, of your ancestors. Okay, and this burden is hoarding material things. Hoarding ancestral grief is a huge one. Hoarding the materialistic attachments. Okay, you know, even hoarding the sadness of your ancestors, hoarding the depression that they've experienced, because Taurus represents the foundation of any family's bloodline, right, in the physical world. And so this leads to stagnation. This is the burden that you carry. Like, you could get too lazy, too stagnant, too still when you are afraid of the inevitable loss that you will go through, because Taurus 8th house, guess what? 8th house is also about loss. So you inherit this fear behind accumulating wealth and losing it. And it's one of the things that many millionaires and billionaires are so afraid of. They're afraid of losing their wealth, and so they work harder. But Taurus, you're not one to work harder mindlessly, rather methodically, knowing when to pause. That's a part of your beauty. So check your Venus sign so you can more upgrade this. But with that being said, I have a power ritual for you, and I have an affirmation. So over here, my power ritual for you is, Taurus, I want you to hold a stone or a seed. Okay, this could be a flax seed, this could be a pumpkin seed, any seed, or a stone. And this could be citrine for your wealth, or pyrite. Okay, now I want you to hold the stone and whisper to the stone, I am earth made new. Okay, because this will help you free from those burdens of your ancestors in the 8th house of Taurus, right? I am earth made new. Now bury that stone and make it as an offering of release, that stone or that seed. This also could be a seed of I'm trying to think of, like, I said pumpkin seed already, but like a seed for a plant. Like, I'm trying to think of what, an areca seed, whatever the seeds for plants are, you can do this, right? And so this is your, oh, hello, you playing with me? Yeah, she's talking. She started touching me. Now your affirmation is, I inherit abundance, not fear. And that's my affirmation for you, Taurus. I inherit abundance, not fear. Now, here's my soft reminder. Other than that, if you're feeling the earth beneath you, check out our free 3-day webinar, okay, in the chat. And you will learn how to master the element of earth. This is something that we're going to go through with your 8th house and Taurus, okay? And awaken this alchemy within you. So hit the thumbs up and the likes button, Taurus, and subscribe if you're brand new. Gemini 8th house, you have one of my favorite, and it's personal to me as well. You are the wind whisperer. This is your shamanic blessing and gift from your ancestors, from your DNA, from your bloodline that you've inherited for Gemini in the 8th house, okay? As a wind whisperer, what you can do is you can weave through alternate realms, dimensions, and realities a message into the fabrics of existence itself, and that becomes your voice the healing mechanism for the current reality that you're in the process of weaving, of literally creating, of manifesting. And this is able to heal and literally reshape reality as we all know it, especially within your immediate environment and your society. Okay, so this is the gifts that your bloodline has given you, the ability to whisper. So singing is a very powerful thing for you. Now, the ghost of your ancestors, the ghost within your bloodline that continues to be reborn, eighth house, within you, within your mind, within your thought, within your speech, is having a fragmented soul. Okay, and these wounds you face with this fragmentation of your soul being a mutable sign kind of all over the place, it is the voice. This is what it looks like. It looks like the voice of your ancestors, right? Who are all speaking at once, and it can be very difficult to understand who to prioritize, right? Like all your support, everyone in your bloodline, they want to tell you something. They want to share their way to reshape the world as you see fit with your voice. And it could be overwhelming for your clarity. It could be very difficult to discern. And it could be something that you get lost in the chaos of through that losing your own voice, right? Losing the courage to speak up on what you feel with all the voices is the right voice to listen to and the right voice to speak. Because you are the wind whisperer, everything you say needs to be very thoughtful, methodical, and I can help you out with that with a power ritual. Okay, so here's my power ritual on the side to help with your fragmented soul and the voices of your ancestors. I want you to write down 3 words that describe your true voice. Okay, on a piece of paper, write down 3 words that describe your true voice. Okay, and what you could do is you could write this in pencil, because it's something that can, if you feel like it's something that you want to stay open and free enough where it can be erased, or you can write this in pen if you're very, very positive on these 3 words and you're like, I want to solidify this, I want to seal it. Okay, now when you do this, I want you to burn the paper in a white candle. All right, Gemini in the 8th house, and purify the external noise. And so when you're doing this as a wind whisperer, you need to think it, you need to speak it out loud. I purify the external noise. And my affirmation for you is, my voice is clear, sovereign, and divine. Okay, that sovereign is free from the negative aspects of your 8th house inheritance of this fragmented soul that you'll deal with from everyone within your mental community inside your mind. All right, and other than that, if this is something interesting to you and you want to get deeper, I have a 3 free day webinar where you can walk into this particular portal and we will do breath work, which also help you to clarify, obviously, this mental chaos that is occurring in your mind for Gemini in 8th house. Gemini, hit the thumbs up and the likes button. And if you're brand new and you enjoyed this, subscribe. Haha, I love you. All right. Cancer 8th house, you are the emotional alchemist. That is your literal gift, to alchemize the emotions that you experience and do your best not to hold on to them, which Cancer has that control, that you will also inherit it as a part of the ghost, the burdens that you face within your ancestry. But on the positive side, what you're able to do is you're able to literally use emotional alchemy as a sacred elixir for compassion, for gentleness, and literal protection. Okay, that you are a very protective sign. You have the gift through your emotional understanding and intelligence to become a very protective energy from an aura, a projection field that you can put around you and your loved ones. And what's magical is you have this intuitive mastery that has the ability to transform these inherited karmas and the energies, the gifts you got from your bloodline. You can all the inherited traumas, because Cancer 8th house, you do inherit some traumas, like all these 8th house signs. Okay, but the traumas are a lot of time linked to domestic violence, or racial slurs that you may need to go through, having to deal with the emotions that were unresolved within your own personal culture, right? And so the thing is, you have to respect your emotional mastery with this and understand that the burdens become things like familiar betrayal, right? Emotional abandonment, whether through a mother not having given the emotion, or even just a caring parent or guardian, going through betrayals. And these things hinder your gifts. And so what you need to focus on is to learn to trust your own inner tides being the water, and as you trust those inner ties, you can alchemize those emotions, that pain, that grief, that guilt, that betrayal. Especially Cancer, you have emotional betrayals where you expected one thing and something completely different happened. You expected this emotion to take you to one place, but it took you somewhere completely different. And that's the water, right? Like it moves like this. So what I have for you, Cancer, is to remember the emotional mastery and the intuitive prowess that you have. And over here I have this this power ritual for you. Okay, so I want you to hold a bowl of water under the moonlight, okay, especially if it's a full moon, because it can help you with the release through the full moon. So make sure you check degrees and it's before, right, so that it is waning, waxing, so that's waxing, so that you can let go. And hold the bowl under the moonlight and now whisper into it the emotion that you most wish to heal. So is that betrayal? Okay, is that abandonment? And when you do that, pour the water into the earth and let that be the symbolization of the transmutation of that wounded emotion. Okay, that's my power ritual for you. If you enjoyed that, hit thumbs up and drop a wave down below saying I respect my inner tides and I'm in control. Now your affirmation is, I am a sacred vessel of ancestral healing. And you have ancestral healing of the family wounds more than anybody else, but you also have their psychic abilities, their gifts that come with that emotional mastery. Okay, Cancer? So hit the thumbs up and the likes button. This is what I have for you. And if this is something that you've really enjoyed as the emotional alchemist, your main gift and ability, come check our 3-day Shamanic Alchemy webinar. And you will get so much more of this mastery, more rituals, more tips, more tactics, more spell work that can help you, especially the Akashic Record ones. Okay? Thank you, Cancer. We'll see you soon. I love you. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're brand new. Leo 8th house. Your ability is bananas, bro. Like, this is definitely a magical one. You have the shamanic blessing of solar heart radiance. It's like, what the hell is solar heart radiance? Well, I'm here to tell you. There are fallen dreams of your ancestors, right? That were never prophesized. They were never came to fruition. But you, in this life cycle, have the ability to give to the world, to actually alchemize that pain of the prideful wounds, the egoic wounds that others had to face, where they didn't get the attention, they didn't feel worthy, they didn't feel deserving. But you are somebody where you're in this life to actually power yourself and merge with others. In that 8th house, you inherited the ability of the gift of radiance, okay, the ability to shine, and you resurrect those fallen dreams. Okay, like literally becoming famous is it's a possibility. And so you are in this process where you're roaring through legacies, but when you roar, you have to embrace this silent roar and understand that there is a pure heart force that's required. It's a part of your gift, right? So when you take and make powerful decisions to merge with anybody else, but from the heart space, okay, not from the wounds of the ghosts, the burdens that your ancestors, your bloodline has faced. And those wounds, again, they look like fear racing into the unknown, fear racing into obscurity, fear racing into compulsivity for recognition, like literally feeling like you're going to do anything to be seen, to be recognized. This is the burden of the ancestors. They became very reactive because they wanted it so bad, but they didn't fulfill that. And so these chains are literally a casket on your own creative spirit. However, you have that gift of soul radiance. You leave the heart, especially, whenever you watch this video, like I'm talking like Mars and Leo type energy. We're currently in that, depending on when you watch this. This is how Leo in the 8th house shines brightest. Okay, this is your true gift. So I have a ritual for you. All right, and your ritual, Leo, to heal those ancestral pride wounds is to place your hand over your heart and speak out loud the name of one dream that you are officially resurrecting now. Visualize golden rays beaming towards you from within you and pushing back outwards from you. And that's the external energy of Leo. As you say these things out loud, the name of the dream that you wish to resurrect. And other than that, here's what I have. Your affirmation is, I shine from eternal, not external flames. And that's what we literally said. That's why you need to imagine those golden rays coming into you, shining deep within you, and then going back outwards, because that's your affirmation. I shine from eternal, not external flames, because that eternal flame is deep within. All right, Leo, and if you resonated with this and you want to learn more alchemy techniques through the lens of a shaman, which you watching the video, all of our 8th house placement shows our shaman within us. Leo in the 8th house, this is me inviting you to a free 3-day webinar, all right, where we're going to go through all of this, okay? We're going to do more spell work, and I want you to hit the thumbs up and the likes button, and I will see you soon, Leo. Virgo, you have the shamanic gift of the bone weaver. Like, what the hell is a bone weaver? Virgo 8th house is the bone weaver. Okay, you have the ability to thread the ancestral DNA in the Akashic space, in the angelic realms, in alternate. You can literally repair, heal, and rebuild, okay, the broken threads in the soul realms, okay? And this is something very magical, it's very powerful, it's very potent, it's very complex, and I'm going to do my best to help you understand this, especially if you look at our 3-day free webinar. This is about sacred service and literal ceremonies. So it's like holding and hosting ceremonies that are about energetic healing, especially even at the physical level, because the 8th house is a physical sign and Virgo is obviously earth, right? And so it's like, this is about the bringing the esoteric physicality into this earthly realm, and you have that gift that you inherited from your ancestors, from your bloodline, as a literal cosmic healer. Now, here's the ghost. Here's the ghost of your bloodline. Here's the burdens. You have this impossible sense of perfectionism. Like, you inherited the willingness to want to do deep healing work. However, like the overthinking of it all, where it continues to paralyze you through analysis, right? You literally have this impossible standard of purity, and you inherit the guilt of not being pure enough no matter what you do, not being good enough as a healer no matter what you do. So you may completely decide not to awaken this gift, Virgo in the 8th house. And what happens is it leads to burnout, because you're not doing things that you're truly passionate about a lot of times, Virgo 8th house. And it also leads to self-sacrificing, right? It leads to self-martyrdom, because you just end up doing things, but they don't align with your soul. And this is a part of the ghost that your ancestors have experienced and gone through, okay? Virgo in 8th house. But again, remember, your gift is bone weaving. It's literally to be born with these ghosts, with these burdens, but also be given the blessings to mend, to heal, to thread. I look at it like the shirt, right? There's these threads that are in my shirt, and without these threads, my shirt falls apart. You're doing this for your ancestral line, whether they are your cosmic family or the ones from Earth. And here is this ritual that I have for you, okay, Virgo? My ritual for Virgo is to bless a handful of herbs or seeds. So literally take, something that's symbolic for you. This could be cinnamon. That's technically a spice, but this could be cinnamon. This could be dandelion root. It could be any kind of herb or any kind of seed. Okay, chia seeds, flax seeds, whatever they are. I want you to take these seeds, and with your breath, plant an intention in them. So literally, maybe my intention was literally to repair the DNA of my ancestors at a metabolic level. Okay, and then from there, plant them into the ground and let that be the rebirth, let that be the growth. And your affirmation, Virgo, is I refine chaos into cosmic gardens. Wow. My service is sacred alchemy. My service is sacred alchemy. All right, Virgo, hit the thumbs up and the likes button if you enjoyed this. And do remember that we have a 3-day free webinar on shamanic alchemy. So because you literally are the alchemist in every way, shape, or form, Virgo in 8th house, I want you to hit the thumbs up and the likes button and check the link where you sign up for this 3-day free alchemy class. All right, and you get so many more techniques. Love. Libra 8th house. This is your shamanic blessing. You are literally the mirror mage. And with this ability, you can peer into the hearts of others, truly understand their desires, understand their pain, understand what and how you can help them alchemize that grief, that crisis that they're going through, and you can see very deeply into the hearts of others as the mirror mage, okay, as the projection master. And what happens is you can guide others from their heart space to reconcile between the warring tribes, because Libra is very, very tribal, especially if you've seen some of my human design work, through tribes, but also through spirits, because Libra, like all air signs, are whisperers through the divine, whether that is angels, unicorns, dragons, and so much more. So this is your mirror maging is literally your gift. Now, your burden, okay, that you receive from your bloodline, from your ancestors, is a legacy, unfortunately, of people pleasing, right? Like you see what's in their heart as a mirror mage, but it may disturb them, and you may avoid that because you don't want to cause a disharmony. But you have to understand your gift and your job is to balance these things out. And in order to balance them out, guess what? Something was already out of balance. And so it's important to not erase yourself, all right, in the process of supporting and helping others, to be very careful and mindful of karmic entanglements, Libra 8th house, in relationships that literally steal your joy, that's still your light, that's still your inner balance. It's like you can't lose your balance to balance another person. And this is a part of what your family, your ancestor, you've inherited from them. This self-erasure, where, being the mirror mage means that you have to be balanced as well on the other side of the mirror, right? You can't balance somebody else to step out of balance. So here's my ritual that I have for you off to the side, okay? I want you to literally gaze into a mirror, and I want you to say, I reflect divine truth, not distortion. I reflect divine truth, not distortion. And from there, I need you to genuinely smile at yourself, okay? I got a call coming. I need you to genuinely smile at yourself and seal the ritual. So what you'll notice when you smile in the mirror, even if you're upset or sad prior, you smile, I tell you, you start smiling for real at the heart level. And this will allow you to support yourself. So hit the thumbs up and the likes button, and remember to join as the Mirror Mage our 3 free-day webinar. All right, Libra? And you will learn shamanic alchemy and how you can take your shamanic abilities and really bring them alive. All right? Thank you for hitting the thumbs up, and subscribe if you're brand new, Libra. Scorpio 8th house. Oh my God. You are the death whisperer. Okay? You have the ability to whisper to the dead. This a lot of times equates shamanic blessings of you having the gifts of mediumship, being able to commune between the living world and the world of those who have either ascended or descended, or completely just evaporated and didn't go up or down, because it doesn't really work that way. You're the death whisperer. Okay, Scorpio 8th house. You have the ability to commune not just with the dead, but to focus on things like soul retrieval. All right, this is one of the most complex shamanic abilities. Okay, soul retrieval, soul fragmentation, putting pieces back together that were lost, ancient forms of wisdom from your ancestors. You have the ability to take lost wisdoms and actually reconnect them. Okay, you can merge them. That's 8th house energy, and you can literally transmute darkness into your literal power. So Scorpio 8th house, if you're afraid of the dark, it's showing you that you are unwilling to activate your gifts until you address that fear. And so from there, that leads us to the burdens of your ancestors and your bloodline and DNA. And the burdens are, you inherited betrayals, you inherited wounds, when it comes to sorcery, when it comes to magic, when it comes to being a mage, a mystic, an oracle, a shaman. You've inherited wounds because you've lived these lives, or at least your ancestors have, throughout time, and they were likely betrayed. They somebody took them to the court. They were practicing magic, and they were like, oh, this is cool. They were like, oh, I love you. Like, this is the best. And you believed in them, you trusted them, and then they turned you in for potential profit. They turned you in for more power. They turned you in to get their own ass off the hook. And this left a wound through your ancestry. And these wounds are oftentimes very violent, whether psychologically or emotionally, and you feel like in this stage from your ancestors and your bloodline that it's very dangerous to trust. It's very dangerous to feel vulnerable. It can be fatal to your literal life, to your existence. And so you decide to not be a sorcerer. You decide not to be a shaman. You decide not to be an oracle. You decide not to be a seer. You decide not to tell prophecies. You decide not to speak with the dead, even if they can give you your gifts and lost wisdom. You decide not to retrieve your soul. All those gifts that you have as a death whisperer. So here's what I have for you, Scorpio, as a ritual that you can help to work through and heal these wounds. You have one of my favorite gifts abilities. All right, I want you to take a black candle, And if you don't have a black candle, you can take a candle and you can draw with a black Sharpie on a white candle, okay? And I want you to silently call forth an ancestor of light. And this is going to be something that's going to be very powerful. So you take your breath, you slow down, you change your mood, and call forth an ancestor of light. And from there, I want you to ask for one piece of forgotten wisdom. And then from there, all you got to do is listen. Like, what do you hear inside your head? And when you hear it inside your head, understand that your thought is going to be their thought, and their thought is going to be your thought. So don't deny it because of these sorcery wounds that you've had in the past. And understand that this is the dead who are beings of light talking to you. And so that's one. Now, my next is I retrieve power from the shadow with courage. Okay, that's my affirmation for you. I retrieve power from the shadow with courage. Okay, Scorpio, if this is something powerful and interesting for you, and you want to alchemize these pains of sorcery wounds, come join our 3 free-day webinar for Shamanic Alchemy. It's going to be something where you're going to get more skills and be able to access your assets, internally speaking, that was inherited from your ancestors. All right, Scorpio 8th house, I saw 333 on screen when I said that. Thank you for subscribing if you are brand new and hitting that thumbs up. Love. Sagittarius 8th house, you and your gift is the celestial nomad. And so it's like, what does that mean to be a celestial nomad? It's like, well, you have the ability to do vision quest and even take and lead others through their own vision quest, especially something like an Akashic record. In a sense, you're taking them through a vision on a quest to retrieve their gifts, their assets from future lives, past lives, and etc. So that's an example. But it goes deeper than that. You have the ability to travel across realms, different realities, boundaries that are not actually in existence. You can walk through them where somebody else sees a boundary. You have the ability to phase directly through them, and through that I almost got to clear my throat for this. You can bring back song. And that's just a song that just came to me in the moment. It's like, what culture is that from? I don't know. What language is that? I don't know. And it's important for you to understand that you've inherited this gift where you can't ask questions. You have to allow yourself to feel. As a fire sign, as a Jupiterian ruled energy, that's your gift. It's the ability to feel into your wisdom, feel into your message, and you bring back prophecies, okay? Your ancestral gift as a celestial nomad can literally digest prophecies. You can understand what is to come. You can understand when another prophecy is in the process of coming true in the moment. And so through your bloodline, you know, there's a ghost of your past, of your ancestry. And the burden that you carry is the sense of exile, the sense of spiritual restlessness, okay? Like your spirit seems to never want to just take it easy because you have been, ancestrally speaking, displaced from your homeland. You've been banned, you've been kicked out. You might have been somebody who had these prophecies. You spoke song from other cultures and it wasn't accepted. It's like you're African and you're speaking about Chinese tradition and your African ancestry said, no, you can't do that. Or they literally exiled you for being and speaking your truth. They exiled you for singing a song that actually healed the spirits of others, that allowed people to take a vision quest into their own realm. So this is something where you carry these cultural displacement wounds. You carry this wound of exile, never feeling like you're enough in your own environment, where you oftentimes will feel safer in another country. You might have literally lost your homeland as a part of this ghost that you carry within your DNA, where your people went through a complete massacre, right? Like we're talking things like the Holocaust, for example. It's like this is like a spiritual massacre to some extent, right? And so what I have for you is, I wish I had my drum over there. I need to bring my drum closer. I have a ritual for you, all right, Sagittarius? And the ritual is drum. Or tap on your chest. So drum or tap on your chest in a rhythmic way, especially like right there. I felt that over my heart, like I tapped over my heart. Find the rhythm that feels good for you, and do it a few times. Now visualize your soul finding its eternal home, okay? Visualize your heart finding its way back home from exile, wherever that home is. Allow yourself to take that vision quest for yourself, because that's your gift as a celestial nomad. And the affirmation I have for you now is, wherever I journey, my spirit is home. wherever I journey, my spirit is home. And I feel this deeply as a world traveler, somebody who's been all over. It's like I feel this. Like I don't always feel home. I feel culturally displaced no matter where I go, because guess what? There's like no African Americans no matter what country I go to, and if they are, they're the far and the few. All right, so I feel I'm like always alone in this way. So I relate to this in a lot of ways. But your medicine, your magic, is to be the celestial nomad, to rebirth those prophecies and bring those songs and those rhythms back into this reality, weave them and guide others, okay, as the teacher, as the master. If you agree and you rock with this, I have a 3-day free Shamanic Alchemy course that is actually a webinar. I'm going to be live with you teaching, so come join in, get your magic, and we'll do rituals, more breath work, more things to help you hone this celestial magic. Other than that, hit the thumbs up and the likes button and subscribe if you are brand new, Sagittarius. Capricorn, 8th house, you are the mountain weaver. What does it mean to weave a mountain together, this physical structure? And that's something that's very magical. Great question. A mountain weaver has the agility to bring massive monoliths together, okay? You are here to empower and actually crystallize a legacy by building something that will last throughout eons, millennia, all of time itself, okay? You have the ability to build structures in a physical way, and your ancestors may have failed at this. They may have been on track for a legacy, but it didn't endure past lifetimes. Maybe it endured for 3 years, and that wounded them. They felt like, man, like this didn't last. They felt like they failed, which leads me into the ghost of your ancestry, the ghost of your bloodline, the burdens that you face. And these burdens are literally ancestral chains of repression, in a sense of internal failure, where it's like, you know, no matter what I do, no matter how much I put in, it was never enough. And Capricorn 8th house may really struggle and deal with this, especially when it comes to like a sense of duty and like trying to fulfill that duty based off of what the people in your current lifetime is deeming reputable and a part of the high society. You may fall into these duties and they'll take you away from your gifts, your shamanic abilities to weave your own mountain, leave your own legacy. And so this leads to not only internalized failures and wounds at that recognition level, but feeling like you're tremendously lonely at the top of the mountain. So it's like, even when you get there, whatever that is, feeling like you're lonely at the top, these are the wounds that your ancestors have faced and they've passed on to you. So I have a ritual for you to help you through this. And this ritual is to, I want you to stand tall with both feet firm into the ground. This will be more powerful and potent if you can get your feet in the dirt, especially at the beach with a little water, because it'll help you move beyond, let the tides take away these emotional repressions that you have faced. All right, I want you to speak out loud a vow that you make only to your higher self. So what are you vowing? Because Capricorn is a very principled sign, something that won't change. Like when you create a principle, when you set this vow, it is for you, it is powerful, and it is a foundational point of the mountain, right? That you are going to build, that you're going to weave together. And so now the affirmation I have for you is, I climb the mountain of legacy with joy, not burden, because this is the ghost of your ancestors. They do things because they feel obligated to do it. You have to do things because you feel you experiencing tremendous joy as a part of it. So that's your affirmation, Capricorn. If this resonates with you and want to learn how to weave mountains and create legacies, join our 3-day webinar, okay, of Shamanic Alchemy. It is free to join, and it's something where I'm going to give you so many more spells and rituals and magic. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you're brand new and you really enjoyed this message on the gifts that you inherited from your ancestors. Love. Aquarius 8th house, you are the star code carrier. You literally carry cosmic light and codes in your physical body, where you have the ability to plant revolutionary seeds into the mind of the collective soul. And it's like, what the heck is that? That's a magical question, right? The mind is what allows us to connect to celestial beings. We have to literally think it, imagine it, and then from there it could come true. So you have to respect that your ancestors, a lot of times, you know, this wound that they have faced, this ghost of their past, their ghost in your bloodline, the burdens were alienation. when they decided to speak up a revolutionary idea. And so somewhere they were shut down and they didn't receive the validation they felt like they needed somewhere along the way. And you inherit this sense of alienation, isolation, banishment, okay? And there's a wound of being exiled in a way for your genius, okay? And so it feels like an unbearable burden of literally being, of literally existing. That's your shadow side of Leo, and you feel too different for your time. And so Aquarius 8th house is like, this is the thing, because you know, with cosmic wisdom of Aquarius and the ability to brainstorm and weave revolutionary seeds together and loop them into knots, that's part of your ability. It is so futuristic for the time you're in, no matter when you were born, no matter when you're watching this. And it is such a deep passion, which is the 8th house, all right, that it feels like a crisis point within you to have that much intelligence, that much wisdom about the galactic codes, about the starlight that exists within our bones, within our essence. You're here to literally weave these into the fabric of the collective soul, and that's a very big responsibility. I know people with Aquarius 8th house, and it's much easier to decide to ignore that, all right, like, so it seems, but your soul won't feel fulfilled and you'll have to repeat this life anyways. And so if you don't want to do that, then come and join our 3-day free Shamanic Alchemy webinar, and we can help you with this and bring out that shaman within you. But other than that, I want to give you something free for now, and I have a ritual for you. Here's your power ritual. I want you to write a letter from your future self to your present self. Okay? So boom, boom, boom. I'm 10 years in advance. I'm 300 years in advance. I'm 3,000 years in advance as a soul again. We're no longer humans anymore. And I'm writing to my self today. And I want you to seal it somewhere sacred. Okay? So, you know, what is that letter? What is that future version of you looking to plant as a seed, a revolutionary concept, an idea that you wish to bring into fruition, right? Write that to yourself and seal it somewhere, okay? Now your affirmation is, my difference is the DNA of destiny. Okay, my difference is the DNA of destiny. It's like, wow. Say that to yourself every day and walk into that power. And again, if you want more support in this, join our 3-day free webinar on Shamanic Alchemy. And we're going to be going through so much about your gifts that not only you inherited, but that you're here. It's going to be so much more than that. So if you're brand new, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you. I appreciate you. Subscribe. Pisces 8th house. The burdens that you have inherited from your ancestors are psychic overload. Okay. There is a pattern that your ancestors have given you in your bloodline, and it often is a string, a web even, of sticky victim mentality, right? It just wants to hold you, wants to grab onto you, and you find yourself diving deeper and deeper into addictions, whether that's sex, drugs, money, and etc. Even if it's just about helping people beyond your natural capacity as a human being living a spiritual experience. And so there's this psychic overwhelm. No, these are the burdens that your ancestors have passed down to you. There's a legacy of martyrdom, right? Like you struggle with boundaries many times, and actually dissolving boundaries that are harmful and not putting up boundaries that are helpful. So your shamanic gift, though, here's the magical thing. Let me keyline this, right? Your shamanic gift is dreamwalk. You're a dream walker, okay? You literally are able to heal soul fragments in the dream space, right? I love this gift. I do this from a different perspective, from Scorpio 12th house, but the Scorpio 8th house, Pisces 8th house, you have this in your own way. And it does work differently, because yours is more through compassion and through this divine sense of forgiveness. And this is where your ancestors, they've given you this gift. They said, hey, carry this mantle for us, carry this light, because we struggled to focus on divine forgiveness. We struggled with unconditional love and acceptance of our power as dream walkers, of our powers to heal the timelines, to heal through literal visions, somewhat close to like Sagittarius 8th house through vision quest. But your visions, they oftentimes will show up in your dreams, and your dreams can show up in your waking state. So you can be awake and daydreaming and having those visions that are actually healing the timeline. So don't neglect your daydreams nor your dreams at night, and focus on your ability to heal these timelines. This is your gift as a dream walker, okay, Pisces? So dream walking is actually one of the main things that we're going to be doing in our free 3-day webinar for Shamanic Alchemy. So if you want to learn how to dream walk, come and join us, and you are like one of the main guests. It's one of our main 5 weeks. So other than that, I have a power ritual for you, okay? Before you sleep, I want you to whisper, "Tonight I mend timelines with love. Tonight I mend timelines with love." And if you're daydreaming and you're in class and you're like, blah, 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 you can do this right before you start to daydream, right? Or even if you catch yourself, because you're able to lucidly walk through these timelines, you can literally say, right now, I meant timelines with love. All right, and that's your thing. And I want you to, when you do this, I want you to place a clear quartz under your bed. And if you feel like you're dealing with like supremely demonic and negative emotions or energies, you can place a tourmaline under your bed pillow as well. I've done this and it works very magically. You could do that right next to a clear quartz and let them work together in tandem, or even an obsidian, a black obsidian will also help. Okay, and so you can do this. And now my affirmation for you is, I swim in oceans of healing, not drowning. I swim in oceans of healing. The oceans are related to your dream world, your waking state of daydreaming as well, not drowning. So understand you have the ability to walk in these spaces and not drown. And when you can do this in the dream world, guess what happens? Whatever happens in the dream world happens in the physical reality. And this is the 8th house. I heard Pisces 8th house. This 8th house is a house of physical energy that started from metaphysical spaces, and it transmutes that pain that your ancestors have dealt with, those burdens, into a powerful reality. So hit the thumbs up and like button, subscribe if you enjoyed this, and do consider and recommend you join our 3-day Shamanic Alchemy webinar. I'll be live with you and we'll go through this. I thank you. I love you. I see you soon, Pisces. Ciao. Your inheritance is sacred. Absolutely, without a doubt, no question. And if you are literally ready to claim these prayers that your ancestors have dreamed for you to exist in this physical reality, to actually carry them through where they failed, where they giving you the burden, but simultaneously the blessing, the gift of a shaman, a mystic, a witch, I want you to join our 3D, aka 3-day Shamanic webinar, where we are going to alchemize your pain of your ancestors' stories, allow you to dive into the power of how the elements can walk us through this and get there closer. Dream walking, shamanic prayer, the alchemical process of your astrology, and how you're here to deliver your personal and individual medicine. We will go through this at an in-depth way where you will get more spells, more rituals, more powerful affirmations, a more detailed understanding of what I can't necessarily do here for the free content video. But if you did enjoy this free content, hit the thumbs up and subscribe if you are brand new, and I will see you at that 3-day webinar so that you can fulfill the dreams that your ancestors have given and bequeathed upon you. Love. This is your Ayurveda shaman, Pernell Bobby, asking you to subscribe if you're brand new.